Alright, so this is going to be my third and last video for my hip, pelvis, and thigh muscle function assignment. And in this video, we're going to be going over strengthening exercises for each of the muscles that I've talked about in the last two videos. And also a function movement that is caused when each of these muscles concentrically contract and occur in just everyday life. Alright, so the first muscle group we're going to be looking at is the iliopsoas group. And so when this muscle group contracts, it causes hip flexion as its concentric action. So the strengthening exercise we're going to be looking at is a lying leg raise, which looks like so. And bringing the hips up to the trunk. And then a functional movement that is caused from this concentric action in everyday life is walking up a set of stairs. All right, so the next muscles we're going to be going over is the gastrocnemius and the soleus. And since their concentric contraction causes ankle plantar flexion, the strengthening exercise is going to be standing calf raises, which look like so. You can't see it because of the angle, but you can see my feet going into plantar flexion. And then the functional movement is going to be any form of jumping. All right, the next muscle is going to be the sartorius. So the strengthening exercise is going to be a seated leg lift with lateral rotation. That looks like this. So put the leg up, get that hip flexion, get that lateral abduction, pick it up, bring it back in, just like that. And then the functional movement is going to be sitting cross-legged, kind of like how I am now. All right, so the next set of muscles is going to be the hamstring group, and the strengthening exercise is going to be a Romanian deadlift, which looks like this. And then the functional movement is going to be any form of just walking up here, uphill, and having your hip go back into extension. So the next muscle is going to be the gluteus maximus, and the strengthening exercise for that is going to be a body weight hip thrust, or a body weight bridge, as some people might call it. Come down. Press up like that. Really engaging the glutes here. Down. Then the functional movement is going to be anytime you stand up from a squatted position. So whether you're down like this or anything like that, and just standing up from that position. Well, the next muscle is going to be the gluteus medius, and the strengthening exercise for that is going to be a side lying leg raise. Frame. Nice and simple. Come up like that. Back down. And then the functional movement for that is going to be anytime you have to stand on one leg, as the gluteus medius is a big part of stabilization in the hip. So anytime you're having to balance on one leg, the gluteus medius is going to be playing a part in that. All right, next up is the hip adductors, and the strengthening movement for that is a standing hip adduction with resistance. So in this case, I'm going to be using a resistance band. So get the band here. I'll put your foot in it. And then the functional movement for that is anytime you're sitting and you kind of go cross-legged. So what I mean by that is sit down just like this, frame, and just bringing your foot up and having your leg like that. Other side. Which this movement is commonly found if you're just sitting at a desk for like a class or just sitting down in general. All right, so the next muscle is going to be the rectus femoris, and the strengthening exercise I'm going to be demonstrating for that is a dumbbell lunge. So, have my dumbbells, nice and easy, just lunge forward, back up, and then my functional movement for that is anytime you're having to kick anything. So an example of that would be kicking a football or kicking a soccer ball. All right, so the next muscle is going to be the piriformis, and the strengthening exercise for that is going to be a seated external rotation of the hip with resistance. In this case, I'll be using a band. So getting this set up. That. Nice and easy, just and then the functional movement for that, just seen in everyday life, is going to be just anytime you're turning your body to the side and having that hip open up and then close. So the next muscle group is going to be the rest of the quadriceps. So the vastus intermedius, the vastus lateralis, and vastus medialis. Then the strengthening exercise for that is going to be a front squat or a goblet squat. So just to demonstrate here, have my little dumbbell like this, going down like that. Another one. And then the functional movement for that is going to be just anytime you're standing up or getting out of a chair. And so pretty much just anytime you do that. All right, so the last two muscles are going to be the peroneus longus and the peroneus brevis. And the strengthening exercise for that is going to be banded external rotation of the ankle, or banded exversion. So I have my trusty resistance band here. Just gonna wrap it around my foot like so. Kind of hold it out away from me. Making sure the ankle is doing all the work. And then the functional movement for that is going to be just walking on any form of uneven ground. So anytime you're going hiking or anything of that nature. And that concludes my hip, pelvis, and thigh muscle function assignment. And I hope you enjoyed.